The police suddenly received an emergency call. When they arrived at the scene, the sight before them left everyone in shock. The girl was frozen in terror, her mouth wide open, her entire body suspended in mid-air. And all of this began a few days earlier. Because she missed her deceased father, Ellie secretly brought a photo of him and played a spirit summoning game with her friends in the basement. But just as the game began, something strange happened. The cup beneath their fingers began to move on its own. Everyone was terrified by what they saw and immediately pulled their fingers away. But strangely, Ellie did not move. She seemed completely absorbed in the game, her fingers still resting on the cup. Just as the other two were confused, the basement lights suddenly went out. The next second, Ellie collapsed to the floor. When she woke up again, she realized she had been taken to the infirmary. Strangely, she could not remember anything that happened in the basement. Ellie did not think much of it, but she did not know the nightmare was only beginning. That night, as Ellie was changing clothes, she suddenly noticed a clear handprint on her shoulder. She assumed she had bumped into something, so she ignored it. But while she was bathing her youngest brother, a strange noise suddenly came from her bedroom. Ellie thought her two sisters were playing around and immediately stepped out to stop them. But strangely, neither sister was in her room. Ellie instantly realized someone else was inside her room. Gathering her courage, she walked in to check. Suddenly the lights began to flicker. Then she heard her brother screaming for help behind her. Ellie rushed to run back to the bathroom, but the door slammed shut with a bang. Ellie desperately pulled at the doorknob and barely managed to force her way out. But when she returned to the bathroom, she froze in place. Her brother's skin was scalded bright red. What was even stranger was that no one had touched the faucet, yet the water had turned boiling hot. Ellie did not have time to think and immediately carried her brother out. Back in her room, Ellie still felt uneasy. Just then she heard a strange sound. She cautiously sat up to look, only to see the closet door slowly opening. Summoning her courage, she walked over. But when she pulled the door open, she found her siblings curled up inside, trembling all over. Ellie asked them what had happened, but the children did not respond. They only stared in terror behind her. Ellie slowly turned her head and was horrified to see her father standing naked in the corner.
Papa?
The man stepped toward her, one step at a time. The next second, icy hands yanked her onto the bed, followed by countless black hands pinning her down. Ellie opened her mouth to scream, but no sound came out. Fortunately, it was only a nightmare, but the recent events left Ellie deeply unsettled. She began to suspect everything was connected to the summoning game. To confirm her suspicion, Ellie returned to the basement. After a brief search, she quickly found the photo she had left behind. But just as she picked it up, a blind nun suddenly appeared behind her. The nun seemed to know exactly what had happened to Ellie. She stepped forward and asked Ellie to hand over the photo. Then she gently touched it with her hands. The nun paused for a moment. She told Ellie that what she had done here was extremely dangerous, and warned her to send the summoned spirit away, or something far worse would happen. After saying that, the nun slowly walked toward the wall. She reached out and stroked the air, as if comforting something invisible. Seeing her behavior, Ellie assumed the nun was mentally ill, and chose not to believe her. However, something even stranger happened the next morning. Her siblings suddenly walked into her room, muttering repeatedly about wanting to play a game with their sister. Before Ellie could react, the two children suddenly bit her arm. Their strength was terrifying, and Ellie could not break free. During the struggle, she noticed large amounts of jam spilling from her body. Just as she thought she was about to die, she suddenly woke up from the dream. Thankfully, it was another dream. But when she stood up to leave the room, she discovered real jam stains on her pants. There were similar stains on the bed sheets as well. Ellie tried to wipe the jam away with a towel, but it would not come off. Suddenly she realized something. She immediately lifted the mattress, and when she saw the burn marks underneath, Ellie finally understood the danger. She rushed to her siblings' room, and after checking, she found the same strange stains under their mattresses. She completely panicked. At that moment, her brother told Ellie that their father had visited him the night before, and told him a bedtime story. Hearing this, Ellie was terrified. She knew all of this was the demon's trap. She told her brother, if their father appeared again, he must cover his ears with both hands, and keep screaming Ellie's name, until she arrived. After getting his confirmation, Ellie immediately took out the spirit board. She remembered the nun's warning. Now she had to send the demon away. Ellie asked her sisters to help prepare the ritual. As the three of them chanted, the doors began to close on their own. The cup in their hands started rolling by itself, as if urging Ellie to follow it. She followed the cup into her room. Finally, the cup stopped in front of the mattress. Ellie slowly reached her hand forward. Staring at the pitch-black figure, Ellie completely lost control of her emotions. She rushed back to her siblings without hesitation, and picked up the landline to call the police. But before she could finish speaking, the dark figure snatched the boy away. Ellie chased after them, and after confirming her brother was not hurt, she hurried downstairs with her 2 sisters. Ellie then realized her brother had not escaped. She rushed back into the room, but her brother acted as if he could not see her at all. He panicked and hid inside the closet. Ellie tried to wake him and get him to leave with her, but the boy covered his ears and kept shouting her name. No matter what Ellie said, he refused to open his eyes. At that moment, Ellie suddenly realized something.
Si vuelve a venir, quiero que no le escuches, ¿vale? Que te tapes los oídos. Que grites muy fuerte mi nombre.
Vero, 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 Vero.
Tú tienes hermano, ¿verdad? Pues tendrás que protegerlo.
Pago el grifo.
No he hecho nada.
Nene, siento mucho haberte puesto el agua tan caliente.
No has sido tú.
The evil spirit had been attached to her all along, and now she had to make a choice. Otherwise, the next person to be hurt would be the one she loved most.